Hello and welcome to Enterprise University. In the first part of this exercise, we will learn how to manage customer information. In the first exercise, we'll learn the different ways to create new customers in Enterprise Suite. We also learned that for every new customer created, a customer billing file and a ship-to file is generated. Go to the CRM or customer and click on the customer menu and select Find Customers. The Find Customer form or dashboard will display. From here, we will find our customer files grouped into several tabs. All customer billing, all customer shipping, all customers assigned to the login user, and all inactive customers. In the Build to Customers tab, let's select the existing customer in the list Alice in Wonderland Tour to load the customer detail form. We will have several tabs in this form. The General tab contains the snapshot of the customer information. The Details section shows the customer name, customer type, and status. We can change the customer name whenever necessary. Take note that the modified customer name will apply only to new customer transaction documents. When changing the customer class template, we will be asked to update the changes to the customer shipping as well, or change the class template for just the customer billing. Take note that changing the customer class template and applying the changes to the customer will overwrite some of the information you have set up for the customer, such as the default country and pricing. We can change the customer type as we see fit. The credit hold checkbox indicates that the customer is on credit hold. If checked, we will be warned the customer is on credit hold when creating a sales order or invoice and would not be able to continue. When the credit hold is lifted, we can simply uncheck this option to process new sales orders or invoices for the customers. The active checkbox indicates that the customer is active. Should we decide to remove the customer from our active list, we can either delete the customer record using the delete option given that the customer has no linked transactions, or set their status to inactive by unchecking the active checkbox. In doing so, the customer record is moved to the inactive customers list. We can always revert this and have the customer record show in the active customers list. The Allow Back Order checkbox indicates that the customer is allowed for back ordering. Whenever a product is unavailable for the customer, we will be prompted to create a back order for them. The Customer Information section holds the customer billing address and primary contact information. We can modify this information however we need. The Custom Fields section is allotted for custom fields that we may wish to add to the customer detail form. We will discuss adding custom fields in the customization lesson of the System Manager course. The Recent History tab will list all the recent transactions of the customer group by transaction type. We can drill down on the document to view full details to the transaction. The Trading Info tab shows the latest figures from the customer trading. The tabs below are supplementary tabs for managing customer contacts. We will discuss this in detail in the next part of this exercise. Let's go to the Setup tab. This tab holds the various account-related information and customer defaults for new transactions. This information is mostly filled in by the class template we assigned for the customer. We discussed class templates and default values in the first exercise. Let's modify some of the default information for the customer billing. Take note that the information we modified here will apply only to new transaction documents. Take note that the customer currency is not amendable once a transaction is made with a customer. We can always adjust the customer credit limit. When changing the credit limit, we will be asked to update the changes to the customer shipping as well, or change the credit limit for just the customer billing. We enabled in the preferences. We will be prompted when the customer is past their credit limit. We can modify the default information for source. We can assign the customer to another user to have the customer record appear in the My Customer list. We can assign the default ship to or shipping address for the customer. If the customer has multiple shipping address, we can select the shipping address they will use as default. However, we can still change the shipping address from the transaction forms. We can assign contacts as default for AP contact of the customer. We can assign a default contract for the customer if any. We discuss service contracts in the cases lesson of the CRM module. We can assign a default credit card that the customer will use for new payments. We will discuss customer credit cards in detail in the customer payments lesson. We can assign a default representative group assigned to the customer. We can choose a commission source for the customer. The options are customers, sales reps, and default. If customer, the commission percent for the sales rep assigned to the customer will be based on the commission percent we will specify for the customer. If sales rep, the system will get the commission percent from the sales rep assigned to the customer. If default is selected, the system will get the commission percent from the next source in the commission hierarchy. We will discuss this in detail in the sales rep Rev affiliates lesson. We can assign the main or head office. If the customer information is for a business outlet or branch, the main head or head office customer information must be existing in the customer's list. We can add tax number or business license information of the customer's business. The description for the tax number / business license field changes into VAT number / company registration number when the user's language is set to English United Kingdom. The rank / last rank calculated field shows the customer ranking since the last rank calculated. We will discuss this in detail in the customer credit control lesson. We can assign a default product filter for the web store to limit the products that can be viewed by the customer or customer contact from the web store. We can also assign product filters per customer contact. We can change the default sales territory that the customer is included. We can assign the default team assigned to the territory or customer. We can change the default customer type from here and in the Generals tab. The GL class section holds customer-specific account codes. We will discuss this in detail in the account codes lesson of the accounting module. We will discuss the remaining tabs in detail in the next exercises. After making all the necessary changes to the customer billing information, you can choose from any of the saving options. Let's go to the Ship to tab. All the available ship to records for the customer is listed here. We also have the option to create a new customer shipping. We discussed creation of the new customer shipping address from the second exercise. We will continue to modify the information for the customer shipping. Let's drill down onto customer shipping to display the ship to detail form. Like in the customer detail form, we will find several tabs that holds the customer shipping information. The details section shows the ship to name status. We can modify the ship to name whenever necessary. Take note that the modified ship to name will apply only to new transaction documents. Take note that changing the ship to class template and applying the changes to the ship to will overwrite some of the information you have set up for the customer shipping, such as the default country, payment, and shipping methods. The active checkbox indicates that the customer ship is active. Should we decide to remove the customer ship to from our active list, we can either delete the ship to record using the delete option given that the customer has no linked transactions, or set their status to inactive by unchecking the active checkbox. In doing so, the customer record is moved to the inactive customers list. We can always revert this and have the ship to record show in the ship to customers list. The customer information section holds the customer shipping address and primary contact information. We can modify this information whenever we need. The custom field section is allotted for custom fields that we may wish to add to the ship to detail form. We will discuss adding custom fields in the customization lesson of the System Manager course. Let's go to the Setup tab. This tab holds the various account-related information and customer defaults for new transactions. This information is mostly filled in by the Ship to Class template we assigned for the customer shipping. We discussed class templates and default values in the first exercise. Let's modify some of the default information for the customer shipping. Take note that the information we modified here will apply only to new transaction documents. If we need to change the payment term, we can choose from available payment term groups to find more options. We can change the default tax code applicable to the customer. Click on the drop-down button on the tax code field to assign tax codes to freight and other charges. We will discuss taxation in the system-wide settings lesson in the System Manager module. If we need to change the shipping method, we can choose from available shipping method groups to find more options. We can assign the nearest location source of products to deliver to the customer shipping address. We can assign a default ship to contact from the available contacts of the customer ship to. We can assign the route code for the customer ship to. Delivery routes are used to filter customers by route code in the stock allocation routine. We can assign a default sales representative to the customer shipping. We can choose a commission source for the customer ship to. The options are sales rep, ship to, and default. If shipped to, the commission percent for the sales rep assigned to the customer shipping will be based on the commission percent. We will specify for the customer. If sales rep, the system will get the commission percent from the sales rep assigned to the customer shipped to. If default is selected, the system will get the commission percent from the next source in the commission hierarchy. We will discuss this in detail in the Sales Representative Web Affiliates lesson. The following fields are optional and just for reference. If provided, we can set up the open and close time for the customer shipping address. We can enter special instructions of the customer when shipping to the ship address. We can also indicate the maximum truck size allowed in the receiving area. If provided, we can add additional information such as tax number and book time, date, and bay. The GL class section holds customer ship to specific account codes. We will discuss this in detail in the account codes lesson of the accounting module. We will discuss the remaining tabs in detail in the next exercise. After making all the necessary changes to the customer shipping information, you can choose from any of the saving options. Thank you for watching. In the second part of this exercise, we will learn how to manage contact.